Guys, in this next news story, a former serving Met police officer, Cliff Mitchell, who carried out 13, the word beginning with R, and told one of his victims, "Now you've met the devil," as he tied her up and kidnapped her in a car, has been jailed for life. The depraved man was sentenced to life today for 10 counts of word beginning with R, 3 counts of the word beginning with R of a child under 13, 1 count of kidnap, and a breach of a non-molestation order. The attacker, who was labelled a pathetic excuse of a man by his victims, will serve a minimum sentence of 13 years and 225 days for his crimes that took place between 2014 and 2023. If he is ever released, he will remain on licence for the rest of his life. Mitchell approached one of his victims with a knife in September 2023 before telling her to put her arms behind her back and tying her arms up with cables. He also put tape over her mouth. The 24-year-old of Wandsworth was a serving officer at the time and was later dismissed from the Met in December 2023 following an accelerated misconduct hearing. One of Mitchell's victims said he forced her and another person to get into his car and only managed to escape by saying she had to get out of the vehicle because she felt sick. The court had heard that he laughed at his victim as she cried, told her she was a nasty little piece of work and that no one would believe her if she said anything because he was a police officer. She was later seen running through traffic by members of the public before a passerby noticed what was going on and managed to get her in a vehicle, the trial was told. In a 999 call played to the court, the distressed woman told the operator, "He's kidnapped me and is behind us," as she travelled in the car of the passerby who offered her help. A search of an address linked to Mitchell following his arrest found a bag containing cable ties similar to those used to bind the victim's wrists. Mitchell had previously been subject to a word beginning with R investigation in 2017, which had resulted in no further action following his arrest. The case was reinvestigated and a file was passed to the CPS. As a result, he was charged with 6 further counts of the word beginning with R of a girl relating to a second victim between 2014 and 2017, and the child was assaulted on at least 30 other occasions. Mitchell was a PC in the Met's West Area Basic Command Unit and was serving in Hounslow when a number of the offences were committed, the Met said previously. He was suspended from the force after the allegations came to light and has since been dismissed. In the sentencing hearing, one victim statement addressing Mitchell read, "You have shown no remorse for what you did to us. You deserve to spend the rest of your life in a cell because you are a serious danger to every woman who's ever walked on the streets. You are the devil, you disgust me. I hope you suffer for the rest of your life and you're never released." The court heard how the women suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder from their ordeals and struggles they now face in daily lives. One of the other victims who said she lives in constant fear said to Mitchell in court, "I'm holding you to account for your actions. You took away my self-worth. You are a pathetic excuse of a man. I'm letting myself heal from the trauma. I hope you rot in jail." Sentencing Mitchell this afternoon, Mrs. Justice May said his crimes are so serious a sentence of life imprisonment is required. The judge said, "Cliff Mitchell is clearly a deeply troubled young man. His serious offending appears to have arisen for his desire of control. The fact he was a police officer, albeit for a short time, will make imprisonment a harsher experience for him." She also praised the bravery of the victims for coming forward and giving evidence in the trial, as well as the police officers involved in the case and the passerby who stopped to help one of the victims. Back in Feb, Mitchell was found guilty of 10 counts of the word beginning with R, 3 counts of the word beginning with R of a child under 13, 1 count of kidnap and a breach of a non-molestation order. And speaking after his conviction, Deputy Assistant Commissioner Stuart Cundy described Mitchell's actions as deplorable. He said, "This is a truly shocking case and I'm sickened by Mitchell's abhorrent behaviour and the pain he has caused the victims, who have shown enormous bravery by coming forward and giving evidence in court. It is down to their courage that he has been convicted and faces a significant custodial sentence." I'd also like to recognise the brave member of the public who came to the aid of one of the victims as she ran from Mitchell's car. Mitchell not only carried out a sustained campaign of abuse against both of his victims, but he told one of them that she would never be believed due to the fact he was a police officer. The brazen abuse of power makes Mitchell's actions all the more deplorable, and I know this is another case which will impact the confidence people have in us. We are doing more than we have done in decades to rid the Met of those who corrupt our integrity, including investing millions of pounds in our professional standards team and bring in additional officers and staff with specialist skills and experience to investigate criminality and misconduct. Part of that is dismissing officers who should not be here at the earliest opportunity. Mitchell was dismissed from the Met in December 2023, and we did not wait for his conviction today to get rid of him from the force. And guys, in this next news story, members of an organised crime gang who were responsible for the large-scale supply of illegal drugs in Runcorn have been sentenced to more than 25 years in prison. The 6 men and 2 women were convicted as part of Operation Winkle, an investigation launched by Cheshire Police into the large supply of crack and heroin in the Runcorn area over the course of 13 months. All appeared at Chester Crown Court for sentencing and were previously pleaded guilty. The defendants were handed the following sentences. Scott Doran, who's 35, got 9 years. Darren Garb, who's 24, got 4 years. David Keegan, who's 52, got 3 years. Marcus Pike, who's 22, got 3 years and 4 months. Samantha Bushell, who's 37, got 3 years and 9 months. Michelle Bushell, who's 59, got 9 months suspended. Stephen Redmond, who's 22, got 3 years and 4 months. And Zachary Rizzotti, who's 22, got 2 years suspended. During the sentencing hearing, officers produced evidence from their investigation that took place between the 15th of August 2021 and 19th of September 2022. The investigation established that Doran acted as the ringleader of the group based in Murdishaw. Garby, who's Doran's brother, was evidenced to be one of the Doran's deputies, assisting in orchestrating the movement and supply of drugs. Keegan worked as a taxi driver in a bid to operate under the radar, helping to facilitate the supply line under Doran and Garb's command. Samantha Bushell and their mother, Michelle Bushell, would assist in money laundering for the organised crime group and for Samantha's then partner, Doran. They also allowed their home to be the hub for the line to operate from. 2 mobile numbers linked the County Lines team were identified sending daily bulk messages advertising the sale of Class A in the Runcorn area. Following the sentencing, Detective Inspector Ali White said, "I welcome the sentences handed to Doran and his associates who have collectively been put behind bars for more than 25 years. This organised crime group thought they could operate under the radar and establish a cocaine and heroin supply line into Murdishaw, with drugs being openly supplied in the community. Little did they know we were hot on their trail, watching their every move, gathering a catalogue of evidence against them so that the defendants had no choice but to enter guilty pleas. Thanks to the hard work of a dedicated team of officers throughout a lengthy investigation, these individuals are now facing the consequences of their actions, and large amounts of Class A drugs has been taken off the streets. Illegal drugs can have a devastating impact on not only drug users but the community around them. In Runcorn, we do all we can to stop the drug activity on our streets and make our town a safer place to live in, whilst also making it extremely difficult for these gangs to operate. We will always act on any info provided to us." So County Line is operated by an organised crime group who use a mobile phone known as a line or a graft to extend their criminal activity business into new locations, usually from a city into rural areas, and in some cases organised crime groups can target and exploit children, vulnerable adults and disabled people to deliver and deal drugs on their behalf. So guys, there's a couple of stories coming out from the streets of the UK. It's your boy GC. Keep it locked, keep it real.